Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I am Richard. This is my channel, and I'm going to make a obscure cocktail for you folks today. It is called the Queen Mary. And the Queen Mary is a simple beer cocktail. It involves grenadine, a beer, and a maraschino cherry. That's it. Interestingly, there is no set recipe for this cocktail. So if you're a fan of this particular cocktail, you need to make it your own. The amount of grenadine is up to you. The beer is up to you. Typically, a lighter beer is used. I have this Budweiser. Somebody left it at my house. I need to use it up. So Budweiser is a beer that is available. Okay, typically speaking, I believe you want to use enough grenadine to stain the beer. And you want to use, this is a 24-ounce glass, so there should be more than enough room for the head. This is an angry pour, because you want to really mix that Yep, that's a perfect pour. And my cat wants out. Sorry about that. So then we have the cherry. This is actually a spice spoon. Okay, so the cherry is just thrown in there, and then the cherry sauce or juice is supposed to be drizzled on top of the beer head. And because this is a brand new can of cherries, or jar of cherries, I have made a mess. Alright, so there you have the Queen Mary. And this is a great, I can tell you right now, this looks like a great Valentine's Day beer. Not exactly the cleanest beer I've ever made, but I know my friends have asked me to actually take a picture of this, so here we go. Alright, so, moment of truth. Now I gotta drink that contraption. Just so you'll know, beer is properly served in a frosted glass, and what that means, of course, is the glass has to spend at least 3 hours, preferably overnight, in your freezer in order to become properly cold. You can actually tell that this glass is not properly cold. It has only been in the freezer for about 3 hours. So it's the bare minimum time. You can feel the glass is wet. If you were here, you could feel its coldness, but it hasn't kept the cold, and it hasn't chilled the beer as much as it could. All right, so this is a very beer is something I take very seriously. So now we have this. It looks like the Valentine's Day version of a St. Patrick's Day beer. So, I wonder how it tastes. better than regular beer. I mean, yeah. This is definitely going to be dependent on the beer you are using. Budweiser is your average beer. It is a very commonly consumed beer. I have considered it mildly bitter. And I mean, to be completely honest with you, the less you taste the Budweiser, generally the better. So, this removes some of that bitterness, and it does make it a more interesting beer, really. I mean, I can't say that I'm going to be craving this in the future. It's more of a novelty than it is anything else. Like I say, this is a great Valentine's Day. It is an excellent drink to have on a romantic evening if your significant other enjoys beer. It's got a very, very distinctive look to it. It's very attractive. It properly uses the head of the beer for part of the spectacle. Of course, you can eat the cherry in the end. So yeah, look. This is something to sweeten up a beer. Alright? It makes the beer smoother and easier to drink. I might say that you might want to hit this with like a shot of vodka to make it harder. Just depending on, where you are in your level of intoxication. The sugars involved in this may increase your hangover because beer is made by fermentation, and fermentation is essentially sugar consumed by yeast. So yeah, I mean, I can tell you, this felt heavy. I feel full. It's really going to depend on just how my body reacts to this. It's a fine cocktail. It's something definitely worth trying. I can't say this is like, I don't think I would ever take this over, say, a screwdriver. It certainly could work better than a gin and juice, depending on the juice. It's what you get if you think your beer is a little too bitter. What this is you left that beer in the back of the cabinet and now it's gone a little skunky, but it's still drinkable, and you want to get it down just a little bit easier. This is a great way to do that. I mean, I think this is a fine enough cocktail. I don't think it's absolutely wonderful. I don't think it's absolutely terrible. I can see why they're not more common because, it's not strongly alcoholic. It's just interesting. This is definitely something that is worth trying. It is something that is worth drinking. I can't see anybody saying that this is their favorite drink unless they're just not a big drinker. I mean, if you know someone, it feels like a more feminine drink. It looks like a more feminine drink. I think it probably could use a fruit garnish. And just if you have a girl who's not a big drinker and you want to get her a little more into beer, that's what this would be great for. Okay? There are drinks that are dry. There are drinks that are sweet. beer tends to be on the dry side, and this brings it to the sweet. So this is not a drinker's drink. This is a lightweight's drink. This is a drink for those people who they're just not into beer, but beer's what you have. So yeah, interesting cocktail. Now, one thing I am going to say to you folks, and this is very important. My cats are making noise now. If you want me to try a cocktail, I will make an effort. You just got to let me know. So in the comments below, talk to me, man. Tell me, what kind of cocktails would you like to see me try to make? Obviously, this is an easy cocktail. It's just, in order for you to make this, you need to make it your own. Some people are going to want the huge amount of grenadine I've used. I would say, throw it by the shot. 2 shots of grenadine may be your thing. 5 shots of grenadine may be your girl's thing. I don't know. I will say it is going to be a little more cleanup than a regular beer. It's smooth. It goes down well. It's going to depend heavily on the quality of the beer. But if you have a beer that you're not terribly fond of, this is a great way to drink it. And I mean, I'm not a big fan of beer culture. I've never been the guy who buys a lot of beer, but I am the guy that always tries to try new beer. So, I actually think this is a great idea, because if I find a beer that I don't care for, this is one way to get that down. Anyway, so that's just my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. I, of course, am Richard.
Rockin'! I'm Danger Ducky, and I'm telling you, it's time to comment, like, and subscribe, because it's the right thing to do. Yeah, that's right. This channel's awesome, and you should be a part of that. So, tell your friends, and rock on!